Hello everyone! Thank you for visiting our channel. Have you ever experienced such life stories? Dylan and Lauren had been together for 7 years when they decided to buy a plot of land and build their own home. Everything was going smoothly for them. First, they stumbled upon a great land sale ad, and then they found reliable builders and craftsmen through acquaintances. The couple had already set aside some money for construction, and they took out a loan to complete the financing. They continued living in a rented apartment in the city, occasionally visiting the construction site to oversee the progress. As is often the case with big joint projects, they either bring people closer or drive them apart. Petty arguments, nitpicking, and misunderstandings started to arise between them. Lauren had her own vision of their dream home, and her husband had his. The main problem was that the man wasn't willing to compromise with his wife, which hurt her deeply. Whenever she expressed her dissatisfaction, he didn't even try to support or understand her. He was a principled and stubborn person, so apologies from him were not to be expected. Despite these challenges, they managed to complete the construction with varying success and almost fully moved into their new home. One day, Dylan and Lauren went to the city for some house shopping and unexpectedly ran into one of the husband's old army buddies. His name was Joseph. He lived in another city but had come here for a few days to relax and take his mind off things after his divorce. "That's not good," Dylan said upon hearing the news about the divorce. Then he added, "Listen, we just built a house and we recently moved in. Come to our housewarming party. There will be other guests, including unmarried girls." "With pleasure," Joseph replied. "Just tell me the time and place." The men chatted a bit more. Joseph complimented Lauren a few times and promised to definitely attend the housewarming party. Then he said his goodbyes and left. The wife gazed dreamily at him for a few seconds, but her husband didn't pay it any mind. On the appointed evening, all the friends of the couple gathered at their new home, including some from their shared circle, colleagues, and other acquaintances. There were about 15 people in total. Joseph even arrived a little early. Lauren spent the whole day in the kitchen, preparing treats for the celebration. She asked her husband to help, but he merely set up a large table outside, fired up the barbecue, and complained about being tired. Dylan decided to take a nap before the party, leaving his wife to handle a multitude of tasks. The wife was hurt by her husband's lack of attentiveness, but then Joseph unexpectedly appeared. He helped Lauren with the cooking, arranged everything in place, and took some tasks upon himself. There was still some time left before the arrival of the other guests, and Lauren and Joseph sat in the kitchen, conversing. He looked at her with admiration and once again showered her with compliments. He marveled at her domestic skills, her beauty, and her sociability. Lauren even blushed a little. She enjoyed this attention, especially considering that she hadn't heard such words from her husband in a long time. He simply took it all for granted. When the other guests arrived, everyone gathered around a large table in the backyard. Friends chatted and congratulated the couple on their beautiful home. As the guests drank and got to know each other, Joseph made an increasingly strong impression on everyone, including Lauren. Throughout the evening, she found herself comparing Joseph to her husband, and in this comparison, her husband was clearly losing. The celebration was in full swing. Everyone was having fun and enjoying the drinks. Music played, guests engaged in lively conversations, occasionally nibbling on snacks. The host noticed that the food was almost running out, even though the party was still going strong. So he decided to prepare some more food on the grill. Dylan called out for his wife to bring everything they needed from home, but she didn't respond. He turned to the guests, but couldn't spot his wife among them. He asked a couple of friends, and they said she seemed to have gone inside the house. Dylan descended to the first floor, but it was quiet there. Is she asleep? Dylan wondered to himself and went up to the second floor. He walked silently so as not to wake his tired wife. As he approached their bedroom, he heard a noise behind the door. Without any suspicions, he opened the door and froze in place at the sight before him. His old friend Joseph and his wife, Lauren, were naked in a very indecent position, right on their marital bed. From their intoxicated gaze and slowed reactions, it was clear that they had consumed a lot of alcohol. Everything became a blur for Dylan. He started attacking Joseph, while his wife screamed nearby. Then one of the guests rushed over and separated them. It took a while to calm Dylan down, while his wife sat quietly, weeping in a corner of the room. The former friends slowly slipped away from the ruined celebration. Close friends of the couple decided not to leave the spouses alone, not knowing what could happen. Tearful Lauren went with her friends, while Dylan remained at home. The intense rage had subsided. Dylan sat on the couch, utterly devastated. He still couldn't comprehend what had happened. Countless thoughts swirled in his head. He tried to come up with every possible explanation for his wife's and friends' behavior. He started blaming himself for his inattentiveness and for blindly trusting both of them. After some time, Dylan filed for divorce. He couldn't bear to stay in that new home anymore. Everything around him reminded him of that ill-fated evening. The house and plot had to be sold, and the proceeds were divided between the former spouses. Common friends stood by Dylan's side when they learned all the details of what had happened. In their eyes, betrayal was one of the most terrible acts in the realm of loving relationships. Lauren was left without a husband and close friends. She had no chance of pursuing a relationship with Joseph. He had come here just for a vacation, and that's exactly what he got. He left easily, returning to his city without any remorse. I drew the following conclusions from this story. If you want to divorce your wife and divide your assets, invite an old friend to a celebration, leave your wife offended for the whole evening, and don't restrict your wife's alcohol consumption. Share your opinions and thoughts about the situation and the behavior of the spouses in the comments. What would you do if you were in the husband's place? And thank you for listening to the story until the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and be sure to like this video. You'll greatly help promote the channel. All the best.